Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piroworski, coming to you live from the East Coast, the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on the Rundown. 2A Views, conservative news. And Craig, it's day 4 of the hostage situation.
Day 4 of the hostage situation, and tomorrow we will be set free. Well, that is,
God,
if our boss, that is if we happen to have a Russian arms dealer to be traded for us. Although, are we that popular though?
no, we would get like an old rusty AK-47 traded for us, not the Russian arms dealer, just an old Russian weapon.
Probably that kind of equates probably because we're special like that.
Oh yeah, you're special for sure. Yeah.
Would you say short yellow bus special?
Why do these windows taste so good? Craig, yes.
Hold on, I got my helmet. I'm ready to go.
Have you seen my baseball? Have you seen my baseball?
Stop making fun of me.
These are movie quotes, folks. We are not making fun of people. These are movie
No, we are
quotes.
not making fun of people. These are definitely movie quotes. Having a good time on this thirsty Thursday. Actually, the weekend has kind of begun here a little bit because most people are not getting out anywhere here in Northern California because they're kind of battening down the hatches as we are facing it's kind of funny. People are losing their minds over storms, and I get it. It's serious, and some people are suffering some serious consequences and having to deal with but they're having to deal with some serious stuff relating to the storm. But we get at least one of these almost every decade. My wife and I were sitting down there and we were talking about each storm, one in the 80s, one in the 90s, one year in the 2000s, 2010s, and now this year. It's like, folks, once a year we get a season, or once a decade usually, we get a season where we get an inordinate amount of rain. And it happens every 7 to 10 years. Why do y'all keep losing your mind as if we never get any rain or wind?
You lost me at you have a storm a decade. I'm sorry, Craig. Oh man, a storm a decade. Wow.
So the guy who lives in a place with a natural disaster that has a season.
Yes. Yep. They come through. They water our grass. Might have a little high water for a while. Might lose some roof shingles. Some people may die, but you know what? We're okay with it. It's got. You know why? Because it's not California.
There
Because
you
I
go.
can see it right now. You see the people in Florida and go, listen, here's the deal. You can continue to have anywhere from 0 to 6 hurricanes every summer, or go to California and have that kind of storm once every 10 years. They'd be like, I'll stay. No, I'm good. We're good here.
Well,
We're good here.
you know how bad. Well, because the California legislature's in session every year. That's why. I mean, I'll put it to it's the California legislature is so bad. You have people who would rather live in an area known as Tornado Alley as opposed to living in the state of California.
Well, I listen. Do you know how hard it is to keep all the tires full of air on the trailer in Tornado Alley? That's not easy to get out of there. It's
No,
tough.
no, it's not. But I do question the wisdom of living in a tornado magnet.
Well, some people like to be mobile. So and the tornadoes help push that mobile along. So
There you go. It definitely helps make them mobile. And along
I'll
that
tell you
note,
what.
let's.
We've seen this a couple of times. Let me tell you this. At hurricanes, there are the mobile home parks, the trailer parks.
Mhm.
And I'm not talking like RV parks. I'm talking like somebody bought a double wide and they put it down there.
Right.
Whereas the rest of the houses had some water damage, some roof damage. The mobile home parks, I'm talking hundreds of these, were literally piles of crushed aluminum at the end of where the retaining wall was. Both
Wow.
times I've seen that happen.
Wow. Scary stuff. Scary stuff. Let's move right along. Speaking of being mobile, let's move right along and give a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Let's say hey to our good friends at the Republican. I'm going to do California first. The California Republican Assembly. These are the people fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Check them out to help out any way you can. Be part of California's future today. That's the California Republican Assembly. Then we're going to jump over to Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net, hitmanindustries.net. You got yourself an AR in the last 5 years. Odds are you probably already have one of their barrels and don't even know it. Now you can buy from them direct for your next AR build or to rebarrel your current rifle. That's hitmanindustries.net. If you want some awesome field gear, some tactical gear, some web gear to wear, you should go to uscombatgear.com. That's uscombatgear.com. And of course, if you want the best in concealment holsters out there, the best tactical holsters, go to Hog Holsters, HAWGholsters.com. That's HAWGholsters.com, helping America wear guns. Use the discount code The Rundown, all one word, no spaces, all caps.
Folks, these are our sponsors. They bring us to you so that we can bring you to them. Help us, help you, help them, help you. All you got to do is follow the link in the description to this program. And check out what they got. And I promise you'll like what you see. And when you do, spend some money with them. And let them know there was the guys over at The Rundown that sent you. Also want to encourage you. Please like, share, subscribe, and encourage your friends to do the same. Tell them where they can watch, listen to, enjoy, partake of The Rundown.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, right here. Wherever you're watching it, wherever you're listening is where they can listen. Wherever you get your podcast, wherever you watch video online, whether it be OpsLens, Spotify, Facebook, Rumble, you can find us. So find us, like right now. Tell them to find us right now. Do it now before you forget.
Did I tell you this last week? I was doing another show, guest, and you get to the part where they ask you, well, where can we follow you? And I said, Arms Room, and I gave all the stuff for Arms Room Radio. Then they said I'm also on The Rundown. They said, where can you listen to The Rundown? I was like, I don't know. Craig does that part during the show, and I'm really not paying attention. And they were like, no, really. And I'm like, no, really. I
don't pay attention.
I don't know. I'm not sure where.
Hey, folks, if you really just want to find all the places you can watch us, go to therundown.us. It's right there. That's where you'll find us. All our stuff's right there. Okay, moving right along to the first story. This one is kind of a holdover from the other day, and this has to do with obviously with illegal immigration. Now, mind you, when whether it was Ron DeSantis or whether it was Greg Abbott or whether it was Governor Ducey, when they decided that they were, or let me clarify, the mayor of El Paso, when they decided to send immigrants to other places, to places that were more friendly or had sanctuary state or city policies, the people who are coming across the border illegally, all those folks, when they started sending them off to different places, the White House came out and called it an abomination. He called it what was the exact word that he used, Mike? Anyway, he called it heartless and all of these various different things, right? What the White House failed to note was that the White House for years has been sending immigrants who come across the border illegally, flying them in the middle of the night to various different places throughout the country and just dropping them off. And so recently in the city of San Diego, a San Diego County official noted that they had dropped off literally thousands. And this was just last week. This was just prior to the new year. Dropped off thousands, over 1,000 immigrants in San Diego at a transit station. They didn't have any money. They didn't have any way to make any phone calls. They literally just dropped them off and said, "Here you go. Good luck." And most of the mainstream media, you didn't hear any. I guess because it wasn't Martha's Vineyard or it wasn't Chicago or it wasn't New York. Nobody in the mainstream media, including with the exception of Fox News, you didn't hear anything from CNN, MSNBC. You didn't see the New York Times. Nobody was writing about it because in this particular case, it was the administration. And by the way, they talked about one of the other things they complained about was, well, you're not giving them any notice. They're just showing up. They gave the county of San Diego maybe an hour's notice before these folks showed up.
Well, I want to make sure I understand all the facts here, but an hour makes sense, Craig, because that's exactly how long it takes the buses to get to San Diego from Tijuana. So that seems to make sense. But this is the Biden administration calling out the Newsom administration.
No,
or
no,
is
no,
this
no,
the other
no,
way
no.
around?
This is a San Diego County official calling out, elected official calling out the governor of California because of his sanctuary state policies, and the president of the United States because, once again, they were the ones who were losing their minds about people just being dropped off, not giving localities any notice. Well, that's exactly what the White House did in this case.
Wait, so a citizen called out Newsom, and how is Biden involved in this?
It was the White House. It was the federal government that dropped them off in San Diego.
Okay, okay. So the citizen called out the
It was a
Biden
local
administration
elected official.
for dropping them off in San Diego. Okay,
Yes.
And point of origin was I'm going to guess the southern border down there.
Southern border, but it was more in like Mexico or Arizona was where they came from.
Gotcha.
So it's
Okay.
not like we don't have them. It's not like we don't have them coming across our southern border, right? We do.
I'm not sure why California is evidently ready for all of them, and they're all welcome all the time. Why do they have to give them notice? I mean, can't they just drop them off? But so you have this San Diego official that's calling out the administration for dumping them there. Yeah, so I see it. So they're saying, oh, you're two-faced. You only call them out when you drop them off in these other places, but now you drop them off here in San Diego, and that's okay. But current administration.
Well,
you know what?
It's actually what the issue is. When a Republican does it, you call them out. When a Democrat does it, you ain't got nothing to say.
Right, yeah. Well, you know what? You reap what you sow. You like them? Have some more. Here you go.
Well,
we're sending them from the Arizona area to California because we know they're going to get better benefits in California.
Well, the problem is, I guess it's their way in which to stem the population decline that is occurring in the state of California. We're sending out people and jobs, and they're sending back people they're sending to us people who've crossed the border illegally.
That's it. Moving east along I-10 are all the U-Hauls and rental trucks, and moving west are all the INS buses. Yep.
Sometimes it'd be like that, sir. Sometimes it'd be like it. Sad thing.
That's great, though. I'd love to be the general manager in that. Be like, listen, I'm going to give you 14 illegals for one IT representative. Okay, sure, sounds good. Good trade. And I also want two your name later.
Well, evidently the White House and Texas and Florida and Arizona are not the only ones who have decided that they are going to engage in this policy of sending folks, some of these folks who've entered the country illegally out of state. In fact, even states that are not border states have decided that they are going to do that. And one of the folks who's joining is going to be the state of Colorado. That's right. Colorado, which is at best a purple state, is starting to lean more and more blue every day. Or every election cycle. They also have decided that they are at least considering sending folks who've entered the country illegally who are now in the state of Colorado. They are looking at sending them to New York City, to Mr. Adams over there in New York City. Once again, it's just kind of funny because this one was actually covered by Politico. So I find it interesting that, once again, they cover because these are supposedly immigrants that were sent to them by border states, by governors, right? By border state governors. And so now they're saying, well, we're going to send them to New York City as well. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Here's what I know about Colorado. All right. And again, their politics aside, they're trying to be, like you said, all kind of purple, but mostly blue, and all their new policies, everything there with marijuana and their anti-gun laws. Here's what I know about Colorado. If you ain't white, you ain't welcome. Okay, this is white people country here, and if you're an immigrant, we'll take the photo with you when you get off the bus, and then we're going to put you on the other bus heading you somewhere else. All right, it's about the most white place I've ever been in my life in Colorado, and it was very clear that they were not facilitating welcoming any migrant. And when I say white, I mean foreigners. They don't want any. They're very America. They're very apple pie and kind of nonsense like that. They want to get rid of anything that is not not only American, Craig, but anything that's not Colorado. We are Colorado. If you are not Colorado and you are not like us, you must go elsewhere.
Well, it's kind of funny because you listen to this guy. This is a Democratic governor there in Colorado, and he's like, we were notified yesterday that the governor of Colorado is now sending that to. They're going to send migrants to places like New York and Chicago. Adams said in a radio appearance. It's just not. It's just unfair for local governments to have to take on the obligation. And Mike, what's funny is they had no problem with local governments taking on the obligation when it's El Paso or when it's a border town. But when they're called on to do it, they're like, nope, sorry. I'm like, well, then tell you what, how about Mr. Democrat governor? How about you call on your federal government to do their jobs and secure the southern border?
Yeah. And the governor there, Jared Polis. Jared, by the way, I mean, you can only be more white if your name was like Blake or something like that. They want just. I'm telling you, it's that elite Democrat feel. It's like sitting in a Clinton compound. It's just that we don't want you because you're not like us. Get out. We'll stand in front of the camera and make it look good, but we don't want you here for real. So go away.
Nope. Most definitely do not. Most definitely do not. All right, moving right along. You guys have heard us reporting a lot on the Oregon gun control law that just recently passed. It was 114, and various parts of this bill have been struck down in the courts, and now it looks like it might be receiving its final death nail. That's right, its final death nail. The one part that still seemed to be alive was the requirement to get a background check. But now you have another Oregon judge that's basically said, yeah, no, that whole requirement to get a background check, yeah, that cannot go into effect. Which, Mike, I don't know, is there anything left of this bill that could potentially be enacted or become law?
I mean, the pen they signed it with might be worth something to somebody. That's about it, I think. There's not much left of this law. Now, let's be clear, Craig, this has been ordered by the judge that it must go to full trial. So everything in the entire Measure 114 has been put on hold until it goes to a full trial there in Oregon. So, and reading through the story, it wasn't very clear, Craig, if that meant like a trial at the Supreme Court, just an open trial, or if that was a trial on the House floor. I'm not sure, but they said it must go to full trial if anything is going to be resurrected from it, because as of right now, all of it's been deemed on hold.
Well, and this is a state judge, so this is dealing with the state judge and the state constitution. We haven't even gotten to the federal constitutionality of this particular measure. So I gotta believe that this thing is. I won't say that it's doing its final swan song, but I do definitely believe that it's circling the drain.
The fat lady's warming up. She's clearing her pipes in the back right now. La 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 la.
Well, anyway, let's hope, because once again, the more these things get struck down, hopefully, and I'm hoping the Democrats will eventually learn their lesson and stop proposing these laws. I'm not. Let me clarify though. I'm not holding my breath.
Ooh, that's funny right there. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah. Yep.
All right. And our last story today has to do with President Biden and his whole nomination process. One of the people that he nominated was Mr. Garcetti. Eric Garcetti is the mayor, or was the mayor of the city of Los Angeles, and was nominated to be an ambassador. And he got hung up a little bit. Well, not a little bit. He got hung up over accusations of being a serial sexual abuser, or it was either him or one of his staff. But in any case, basically now that there is a new Senate, now that there is a Senate where Democrats actually have a 1-vote majority, they're now looking at moving him along. They're now looking at allowing he's been renominated. So now that he's been renominated, there is a very good likelihood that Eric, the sexual, well, I don't want to call him the sexual abuser, the accused sexual abuser, former mayor of Los Angeles. We definitely know he screwed over the city of LA as mayor. So we definitely know he screwed over the people of Los Angeles. But although I think they were willing participants. What's that called? They had given their consent. They were consenting adults because they voted for him. But clearly, he's probably likely going to sail through. And these accusations, which, by the way, would never stand if a Republican with these sorts of accusations were nominated by Donald Trump, they would never be moving this stuff along. But we now see it moving along there for Mr. Garcetti.
Yeah, not that I'm trying to defend Garcetti, but I believe the official, what he's been alleged to have done is he's a sexual abuse facilitator. He allowed it to go on in his office. He knew complaints of it and did nothing to attempt to stop it from happening in the mayor's office there in Los Angeles. So
I do appreciate it.
I've yet to see any of him actually doing anything other than knowingly consenting to other people doing it to other people. So
I stand corrected. Thank you so very much. I still look at what his policies have done to the city of Los Angeles, and as far as I'm concerned, he screwed him over. So,
oh, absolutely did. Yeah, absolutely did. But like you said, this administration doesn't care. I mean, Joe's hoping that maybe he facilitates some young kids to sniff their hair or something for him.
Yeah, not a joke.
Yeah, yeah. They love the hair on my legs when it blows.
They love the hair on the legs. Oh my, that is so sad. That is so sad. All right, moving right along. It's time for our parting shots, brought to you by Hog Holsters. It's hogholsters.com. Get your very, very cool, very, very effective tactical holster, concealment carry holster today. All you got to do is go to hogholsters.com and use the discount code The Rundown. All caps, no spaces, just one word. It's hogholsters.com. Go there, get yours today.
Get some.
Now, with all the stuff, the madness that's been going on with the race for speaker, today being day number 3, in which they're having 4. Day number 4. Wow. No, they didn't go. Did they go back Monday or Tuesday?
They took Monday off. It was a federal holiday. Remember?
Okay, that's right. Okay, so it's the 3rd day that they're back, and they're trying to nail it down. They're believing they might be a wee bit closer to actually electing a speaker. But as far as we know, once again, because we both engage in stuff, I haven't checked the news in a few hours. But as far as we know right now, there is no speaker. No speaker has been elected. So before this meme goes out of date, regardless of where you stand on the 20 versus the 200, this is a funny meme. You want to describe this one for the folks, Mike?
Yes, this is when you have to do your security verifications. It says, please select the blocks that have speakers in them. And there's I think that's a JVC. We got a Sony over there. Got a Blaupunk. That's an old realistic. And then there's 2 pictures of Kevin McCarthy, and they're not checked because he's not the speaker.
Ouch. That's funny. I don't care who you are. That is funny.
That's funny right there.
I don't care who you are. That's funny right there. All right, and this next one is now. Once we finally get into this the 117th Congress, there's going to be a whole lot of stuff that's going to be investigated. And the reason why, in particular, talk about the fact it's going to be investigated is because the opportunity for them to pass policy that will eventually become law is going to be slim, because it's got to go through a majority. It's got to go through a Democrat majority Senate and be signed into law by a Democrat left-wing Democrat president. But needless to say, this is basically what we've been looking at. And now we're looking at it, as the 118th Congress gets ready to take place. So you've basically got a Democrat who's holding a what appears to be a club, and it says the 117th Congress, and then there appears to be the bones of what is, I'm guessing, a horse, or it's some sort of animal, a dead animal, or it is it must be a horse. because and it's January. It's got a satellite that says January 6th, and it basically has them basically the Democrats beating a dead horse over January 6th, and then you've got a Republican sitting back there, an elephant with a suit with a big, huge crate, and it's got all of these different clubs that they're planning on using in the 118th Congress as Afghanistan, COVID origin, border crisis. I'm thinking now, Mike. I'm thinking that they're going to be doing an amount of their own beating themselves. But my question to you is this: do you think they're going to take the same direction as the Democrats did in their investigations, and basically only appoint people who are going to agree with them, and then put on a basically what is a television, a wholly produced television program, pointing out all the failures and flaws and all the stuff that Democrats did? Or do you believe they're actually going to do a real investigation?
Well, I believe they're going to be real investigations, but I believe the Democrats are going to be invited to everyone to sit there, and when they try to speak, they're just going to get cut off because they have the ridiculous comments they have to make. I think they're going to control the amount of microphone time that people have. Although everybody gets equal play, we've all seen that happen up there at the House. But I believe that they are going to hammer those topics such as Afghanistan, COVID, the hunter's laptop, all that kind of stuff. They're going to hammer that as hard as this whole tourism event in D.C. on January 6th 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting. And some of the things that I'm hoping that they will be investigating are some of these. Really, there was a little bit of investigation into collusion, but these are some of the things that I'm hoping that they'll investigate. For example, and this is from Turning Point USA. It says, "What is collusion? Collusion is when an attorney general meets in secret with the spouse of someone under investigation. Collusion is when media provides questions to one candidate in advance of a presidential debate. Collusion is when a political party conspires with one candidate to block another candidate in their primary. Collusion is when a sitting president wiretaps the candidate of the opposing party to help their opponent. Collusion is when government officials leak classified information to the media to smear a sitting U.S. president. Collusion is when an FBI director hands out immunity to persons involved in a criminal investigation after they destroyed evidence. So, when does the real investigation begin?" These are just a few of the things that I think we all would like to see investigated by the 118th Congress. I don't know that they're going to have enough time to investigate them all, to be quite honest.
A lot of stuff on there, Craig. A lot of stuff on there that they've been playing make-believe with. But you know what that last sentence is called on there? That last sentence?
What?
That's the collusion, illusion, conclusion.
Oh, the collusion, illusion, conclusion.
Yeah, that's what the last
Did you just
sentence
make that up, or did you get that from somewhere?
Right about here. Right about this section right here.
Well, there you go. There you go. All right, folks. Well, hey, it's about that time. But before we go, it's time to give that final shout out to our sponsors.
Let's say hey to our good friends at Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Rifle and pistol caliber length barrels available. Rifle and pistol caliber lengths available as well. Hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly. Make sure you reach out to these folks. You can be part of California's future today. And if you want some of the best field gear and tactical gear out there, go to uscombatgear.com.
Once again, folks, please visit our sponsors. Let them know that you appreciate their support of The Rundown. And once again, make sure you tell them that the guys over at The Rundown sent you. And with that, once again, we have another show in the books. We will be back tomorrow on Feedback Friday. Would love to hear from you. Get your feedback so, we can hook you up with some stuff. I'll let you later.
Do it.